good camera is one you find visually appealing. But in order to be great, you must also enjoy shooting with it. Well, if you like the styling of the Fuji X-T20 as much as I do, let's see how well it works.
It is a small and tidy little package with great retro styling. The attention to detail is obvious. The satiny finish, the knurled dials, all very reminiscent of European cameras from the 60s and 70s. The 24 megapixel sensor is APS-C sized, and the results speak for themselves. This is the image quality Fuji has built their reputation on since the days of film. It's not just the styling that's retro. There's a screw mount for a cable release, there's a dial to set the shutter speed, and many Fuji lenses have aperture rings to set the f-stop, although they're not marked on the 18 to 55mm kit lens, which ramps from f2.8 to f4 as you zoom. If that makes it sound like it's for experienced photographers, well, yes, but there are full auto settings for exposure and focus. Just turn the shutter dial and the aperture switch to A, or flip the switch to auto to give the camera full control, which will not disappoint. And if old school controls make it sound less than the latest tech, there's a touchscreen to focus and snap, and 4K video, as well as features like 8 frame per second burst, an interval timer for time-lapse, and panorama. Demanding photographers will be happy with the viewfinder, centered over the lens, uncompressed RAW, the choice of mechanical and electronic shutter, as well as Fuji's film emulation modes. Fuji's X-mount lens selection is growing and now includes some exceptional quality glass. The viewfinder is less than the best, but still bright and clear. There's a diopter adjustment on the left and a view mode switch on the right, much handier than going to the menus to select the mode. I find Fuji's the most readable information overlay, which rotates when you turn the camera to portrait mode, a feature unique to Fuji and also unique to the viewfinder. The LCD display doesn't rotate. The LCD tilts up and down, but not around for selfies. The comparisons to the Fuji X-T2, introduced in the summer of 2016, are inevitable, as this seems like a junior sibling. I've compared them side by side. Use the link top right to watch that. There are few cameras that are as creatively inspiring as the X-T20. Just selecting the Acros black and white emulation makes me want to dash out to take photos. And it's small enough, fast enough, and unobtrusive enough to be a great candid street snapper. The full auto mode, selected with the switch on top, self-identifies the scene, or use the front dial to select the scene type yourself. One of Fuji's unique features is a selection of film emulations accessed from the left side of the control circle. A screen simulation provides a sense, but the photographs provide the full rendition. When used with the combined RAW and JPEG modes, you have both the full capture and the emulation in the JPEG file. There are both Acros and standard black and white versions, which have color filter options. Combine these with the menu's grain effect, weak or strong, for some very interesting images. There are 4 meter modes called photometry on the menu: multi, center-weighted, spot, and average. Spot is center by default. On the focus menu, you can interlock spot with the focus area. That's handy. In auto modes, the top right dial is exposure compensation, which appears screen left, 6 stop range. Incidentally, although the mode appears in the bottom left, there's not an actual mode dial. Turn the shutter dial from A for shutter priority, or the aperture switch for aperture priority. Both, and M for manual appears. Dial around to C on the EV dial for a 10 stop range, now selected using the front dial. In full manual, the meter appears screen left on both LCD and viewfinder. Using the mechanical shutter, speed ranges from bulb, with a 60-minute maximum, to 1/4000 using full stops. 1/3 adjustments are available using the back dial. Switch to the electronic shutter to access settings up to 1/32000, also selected from the back dial. The kit lens aperture ramps from f2.8 to 4 when wide and closes to f22. Filter diameter is 58 millimeters. Closest focus is 30 centimeters. The X-T20 has no digital zoom mode. Although some Fuji models now have ISO dials, It's a menu setting on the X-T20. It's also accessible on the Q menu, but I've customized it to the rear dial to set ISO. Then press and turn the dial to see the setting change interactively, but the meter only reappears when a selection is made. Ugh. The three auto ISO selections have minimum, maximum, and shutter trigger settings. Those are configured in the menu. Minimum ISO is 200. There is a 100 setting, but contrast is compromised. Maximum is 12.8, but Fuji provides 25.6 and 51.2 with a caveat. I now expect 6400 to be usable, but was surprised by the extended settings, which have some grain and mushiness, but are better than I expected. Built-in flash, released using the lever, guide number 6, flash hot shoe, and full controls in the menu. Flash sync speed is 1/180. There are 3 focus modes, selected with the switch in front: single, continuous, and manual. In manual, there's a distance meter. The blue bar shows the depth of field. And 3 area selections in the menu: single point, zone, and wide tracking. With single point, select 91 or 325 focus points that fully cover the screen. The larger center ones are both phase and contrast. Press the bottom of the control circle to activate, the back dial to size, and then the control circle to select. All easily done with my thumb, but why bother when the camera does touch? Touch to focus and snap in shot mode, or touch the finger to switch to AF, focus only, area, or off. In movie mode, shot mode starts recording and then racks the focus to whatever I touch. The touch focus works nicely, and while speed is reasonable, it does not feel quite as responsive as the direct focus. I'm using the AFL back focus button, which works in manual focus. Although many cameras struggle in low light, it doesn't affect the speed or accuracy of the X-T20. Incidentally, you can turn the touch focus to off, but if you'd also like to remove the icon from screen right, use the setup menu to disable touch completely. In continuous focus, which is great when used in combination with burst mode, there are 5 variations to tell the focus engine the nature of the scene and what you want to capture. Although I like this feature, I've yet to master it. There are several manual focus assist modes: expanded view, digital split screen, and peaking, which can be customized in the menus with a selection of colors and intensities. Face detection, which is a combination focus and exposure mode, the meter selection can't be changed when it's on, has options just to detect faces or faces and eyes. If it chooses the wrong eye, select which eye is more important. On the X-T20, face detection works with high-speed burst, but not in movie mode. An extensive set of white balance options, presets, degrees Kelvin, and 3 custom settings, which can be captured in all modes except video, and can be further customized along the standard green, magenta, and blue amber axes. With manual settings, burst mode takes 82 fine JPEG images in 10 seconds, and then slows to about 4 per second using a U3 type SDXC card. Switch to the electronic shutter to take 14 images for 2 seconds, 7 or 8 for the next 7, and then 3 or 4 per second, but as there's neither shutter sound nor screen flicker, it's hard to tell. The drive dial includes 2 bracket settings. On the menu, each can be configured from a menu of choices which include exposure, ISO, film simulation, white balance, and dynamic range, and each of these can be further customized. Press the shutter and 3 images are taken in exposure, or 3 files are saved in the others. The drive dial also hosts a selection of image filters, as well as panorama, an excellent implementation of this feature with 2 sizes, 96 and 6400 by 1440 pixels. Self-timer is a menu setting, 2 or 10 seconds, with an Easter egg. Set the drive to burst, and it will take multiple images. Interval time can be set from 1 second to 24 hours, and the number of images can be set to infinity. Video is excellent with many useful features, including live, clean HDMI out with stop-start control for external recorders and a mic input. Turn the drive dial to Movie, which transforms the shutter into a stop-start, an alternative to touching the screen. The touch focus is really useful, and although it's noisy when you're not recording, it's quiet and smooth after recording starts. There are fewer focus points available in video and only one size, but touch. My best video settings video will get you started quickly, link top right. 4K, the UHD 16:9 video standard, is supported from 24 to 30 frames, HD and 720 to 60. The amount of time available on the card is displayed top center. 4K recordings are limited to 10 minutes. Start recording and the display changes to a countdown for the current clip. In 4K, data rate is about 100 megabits. HD is limited to 15 minutes. HDMI out can optionally include the screen info overlay, and you can optionally record on the card or on an external recorder, which has no time limits. Touch works even when an external monitor is connected. The viewfinder LCD switch doesn't work once recording starts. Shutter and aperture can be adjusted while recording, but not ISO. Auto ISO does adjust while recording. Use Movie AF Mode Area to select the focus point. Multi means auto selection. There's no crop in video mode compared to the X-T2, which crops in order to process video without pixel binning and line skipping. Not sure why that's not used here, but if there is a quality difference, I didn't notice it. Movies are recorded in 4 GB chunks, slightly over 5 minutes each in 4K, which edit seamlessly. At room temperature, the orange overheating icon appeared after 22 minutes. Fuji warns that quality deteriorates at this point. 10 minutes later, recording stopped when the overheating icon turned red. There are no audible alerts. In addition to the film emulations, video can be tuned using the Q menu's highlight, shadow, color, and sharpness settings, although admittedly they don't have much range and don't affect the overall dynamic range. I wish this screen were interactive so you could see the image while making the adjustments. Rolling shutter is about the same as other cameras in this class. Now it would be nice if there was a headphone output, if the limit wasn't 10 minutes, and if the screen would swivel around for selfies and vlogging. Also be nice if the mic input was the standard size, but there are adapters available. There are extensive customization selections for the buttons. Just hold one down to jump right to the menu setting to change it, and although the rear dial can be customized, the front cannot. The display button removes most of the overlay information for a clean screen and also displays a non-interactive viewfinder companion screen. But there's no display feature that can't be customized, and this enables you to clean the screen of icons you never look at and focus on the ones that matter. There's a histogram and a horizontal level. Note that the histogram is not available in movie mode. Fuji's free camera remote app can be used to send photos from the camera to a phone for social media posting, and it also functions as a remote control useful for vlogging. It can send GPS info from the phone to the camera for geotagging. Unfortunately, changing modes requires disconnecting and reconnecting. Wi-Fi can also be used to send images to an Instax printer. And there's a free PC autosave app available for Mac and Windows, which provides the ability to transfer your images to the computer from the playback menu. Activate it, and all the images are transferred. It takes a long time, but the camera will power down once the transfer is finished. There's no tethered shooting option. Touch also works in playback, swipe, pinch out or in, excellent for a quick focus check. But the X-T20 will also zoom to the focus point by pressing the rear dial, a feature I find useful. The playback menu includes extensive RAW conversion capability. With the exception of the settings panel, I find the menu well laid out and organized, making options easy to locate. Unfortunately, touch doesn't work for the menu. If the menu's choices and ordering doesn't suit you, create a personalized menu of choices in the order you prefer. And while I'm getting used to starting at the beginning each time, it would be nice to have an option. And that's the second benefit of creating a My menu. Once created, it becomes the default. An excellent and detailed printed manual is included. It's also available online and as a PDF download. The kit includes a battery charger. The camera can also be charged by USB, but can't be powered by USB. Battery life is average for a mirrorless camera. In other words, carry a spare. Always. I didn't have many complaints, but the tripod mount is too close to the battery door, which means removing the quick release plate to change cards or batteries. And oddly, it's not centered under the lens.
Bottom line, the Fuji X-T20 is a stylish camera with a functional and physical control set, leading-edge focus technology combined with Fuji image quality, and only a few compromises.